Italy is a nation known for being a cultural hearth of modern civilization, by having beautiful architectural marvels and some of the world's best cuisine. But between northern and southern Italy, there are very extreme income disparities. What is the reason behind this? Let's explore it. 2,000 years ago, the Roman Empire was a thriving civilization. Italy was the heartland of the Roman Republic and Empire. Rome was founded in 753 BC, and it expanded its influence through conquest, eventually controlling most of the Mediterranean. The Roman Republic transitioned into an empire in 27 BC under Augustus. Rome's contributions to law, architecture, engineering, and governance had a lasting impact on Western civilization. Amid internal strife and external pressures, the Western Roman Empire fell to Germanic tribes in 476 AD. This marked the end of the Roman rule in Italy. During the Dark Ages, which lasted around 800 years from the 5th century to the 13th century, Italy became a patchwork of small states, including the Byzantine Exarchate of Ravenna, the Kingdom of the Lombards, and the Papal States. The city-states of Venice, Florence, and Genoa gained prominence through trade, arts, and banking. Then the European Renaissance began in northern Italy, and this changed the world forever. Italy was an epicenter of the Renaissance, a cultural and intellectual revival. Florence became a major patron of the arts, while artists like Leonardo da Vinci and Michelangelo made significant contributions. Later, Italy faced foreign domination by Spain, France, and Austria. The Peace of Westphalia in 1648 recognized the independence of several Italian states, but foreign control persisted. For the next 200 years plus, Italy went through many historical phases, including one where Napoleon tried to conquest Italy. This failed, and in 1861, Italy unified into the nation it is today. During World War I, Italy was an allied force and did receive territorial gains, but in 1922, Benito Mussolini became the prime minister, but in reality, he was an authoritarian dictator who aligned himself with Adolf Hitler and Nazi Germany as an Axis power during World War II. The Axis powers lost the war, and Mussolini was executed on April 28, 1945. After the war ended, Italy abolished the monarchy and became the current republic it is in 1946. Since that time period, Italy became a major regional power and is a member of the G7. On a whole, economically, Italy has a $3.2 trillion GDP, one of the highest in the world. However, there are stark economic disparities between the northern and southern provinces. Why is this the case? In this episode, we are going to review the major reasons for economic disparities. Before we discuss this, make sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, Our World, Our Planet, Our Home. Let's start discussing the reasons now. The first thing we must look at is per capita income ranges between northern and southern Italy. According to recent per capita income figures, the autonomous far northern region of Trentino Alto Adige has the highest incomes, coming in at $43,430 a year. The highest regular region of Italy is Lombardy, where Milan is, and that has an income of $42,064 a year. After Lombardy, Emilia-Romagna, Aosta Valley, and Veneto round out the top 5, and all these regions are northern. The region in Italy with the lowest per capita income is Calabria, with an income of only $19,000 a year. Along with Calabria, Sicily, Campania, and Apulia, all southern provinces are at the bottom of the per capita income list. Between Lombardy and Calabria, there is a $23,000 range. The first reason for such a disparity is historically rooted in Italy. As mentioned before, northern Italy cities were heavily influenced by increased trade, commerce, and cultural breakthroughs such as the Renaissance. The Renaissance began in the city-state of Florence in the 14th century, and at the time it was one of the wealthiest cities. The effects of the Renaissance spread through northern Italy to other communities such as Venice, Verona, Genoa, Bologna, and Milan. But with the political fragmentation at the time, the Renaissance didn't influence southern areas of Italy as much, and much of that region remained underdeveloped. The Renaissance ultimately led to industrialization, which leads to the next reason. The Industrial Revolution began in Great Britain in the 18th century and started to spread to Europe and the Americas thereafter. When the revolution reached continental Europe, northern Italy rapidly industrialized, but the South didn't. One explanation of this is that the earlier Renaissance greatly influenced the educational and craftsmanship skills of northern Italy. When industrialization started, a skilled workforce, access to raw materials, and a tradition of craftsmanship and manufacturing further hastened economic development. The southern regions remained agrarian and didn't industrially develop. Industrialization allowed for many well-known Italian brands to be founded, including Fiat automobiles in Turin, exotic car manufacturers Ferrari and Lamborghini, both founded in the Emilia-Romagna region, and designer brands Gucci, Prada, and Dolce & Gabbana, all which were founded in northern Italy. Another economic factor is how a business is run. In northern Italy, many businesses are larger conglomerates like the ones just mentioned. But in southern Italy, a lot of businesses are family owned and small. These small businesses serve the smaller cities and villages in the southern region, and usually the smaller a business is, the less it contributes to the overall GDP. Even though that is the case, family owned businesses do have their benefits, including better service and customer satisfaction. One thing that does play a role in this, though, is the age gap issue. Usually, older individuals prize smaller, more intimate experiences of business. However, younger individuals may want more economic and educational freedom. This has led to many younger southern Italians immigrating out of their hometowns to more urbanized and industrialized areas of northern Italy. Infrastructure is crucial to a prosperous economy, and within Italy, there is also stark disparities between the north and south with this. Since there are more major urban centers from Rome upward, highway and train systems are a lot more developed there. This not only allows civilians to move more efficiently, but also allows cargo transport to be easier, increasing economic function. In contrast, southern Italy has a lot of smaller villages with narrow streets, which, while intimate, can create dysfunction while trying to transport goods. A geopolitical factor that can be a sore spot is political corruption. Unfortunately for Italy, this is a sad truth. Out of the Eurozone nations, Italy is regarded as being the most corrupt. The whole nation is affected by this, but the southern regions have more pronounced levels. Political corruption is often intertwined with organized crime, very notably in the poorest province of Calabria. But even in Rome, politicians there have been connected to organized criminal syndicates. By having this connection, economic and infrastructural decisions are made which can prove fatal. For example, 300 people died in the 2009 L'Aquila earthquake in Sicily. Afterwards, some critics said that shoddy construction and safety measures associated with contractors connected to mafia organizations could have been responsible for structural failures. A historical and social factor that did change southern Italy is mass emigration in the late 19th century and early 20th century. Most Italian immigrants who came to the United States were from the southern provinces of Campania, Sicily, Calabria, and Apulia. At this time, southern Italy was even more underdeveloped, and the American dream was a way out of poverty and difficulties for these immigrants. Demographically, this did ultimately leave a lasting impact on southern Italy, as many of the immigrants remained in their new home nations, with the majority now living in the U.S. Now that we talked about the reasons of economic disparities in Italy, what are some solutions? There are several solutions that can be or are already being implemented. One is addressing educational gaps within southern provinces. To begin addressing the economic disparities, it is crucial to invest in education and skill development in southern Italy. Education is the foundation of human capital, and by improving the quality of education and increasing access to vocational training programs, individuals in the South can acquire skills necessary for the job market. Scholarships and financial aid should be made available to reduce the educational attainment gap between the North and the South. Another solution that connects with education is industrial diversification by importing northern industrialization to the South. Southern Italy has traditionally relied heavily on agriculture, while the North has diversified into various industries such as manufacturing, finance, and technology. Encouraging industrial diversification in the South is essential. This can be achieved through tax incentives, investment in research and development, and the creation of business incubators and technology parks. Promoting entrepreneurship and innovation will help generate employment opportunities and foster economic growth in the region. As mentioned before, northern Italy has a more developed infrastructure, and this has to be more applied to the South. A robust and modern infrastructure is essential for economic growth. Southern Italy lags behind the North in terms of transportation networks, including roads, railways, and ports. To bridge this gap, there must be substantial investments in infrastructure development. This not only facilitates the movement of goods and services, but also attracts foreign investment and tourism, both of which can significantly contribute to the local economy. And finally, increasing tourism to the southern Italian areas can promote economic wealth. Southern Italy boasts a wealth of historical and cultural treasures, including ancient ruins and vibrant cities and coastlines. Tourism has the potential to be a significant driver of economic growth in the South. Investments in tourism infrastructure, marketing campaigns, and cultural preservation are necessary to attract more visitors and generate revenue. And unique and vibrant southern Italian culture and hospitality will only draw more and more tourists to these regions. Italy is a nation of rich culture, from the north to the south. With time and effort, the economic disparities between the two areas can be closed. What do you think? Is there other solutions Italy can do to tighten the economic disparity gap? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to my channel, Our World, Our Planet, Our Home. Until next time!